Hey guys, it's Shimshin. Welcome to my channel. Never thought this would be my first face reveal in an emergency room, but I've been under a lot of stress recently, and you can see that my heart rate is going above 170. This is not the first time this has happened. I've had atrial fibrillation, been diagnosed with it, and it's typically triggered by stress, in my opinion. The first time, I never experienced it before, so I was a dumbass and didn't know what the symptoms were about, so I thought I could maybe sleep it off. And at some point, I woke up and I was very lightheaded, and I suddenly got scared. Yeah, the first time my heart rate went above 200 beats a minute, and I felt like I was going to lose consciousness for I don't know how long, and it was a real scare. Waiting for the ambulance, waiting while the ambulance was, the medical staff were asking me, it seemed like way too many questions, taking way too long, dragging their feet, trying to find a bed for me and everything. And maybe didn't take it seriously because I'm relatively young. Okay, a little update on my health. Let's look at this. I've been here for an hour and a half. They've had me on an IV. So I took 60 milligrams diltiazem that I had it in case I needed it to stabilize my heart rate, but that wasn't doing it. So I drove myself to the ER, and they've had me hooked up to an IV. I've been here for an hour and a half, and my heart rate's been going up and down. It's gone into the 180s, so not quite as high as the over 200 record that I had the first time, but still pretty concerning, and it's been fluctuating between like 120 and 140 now recently, and of course the doctor doesn't want to send me home with a heart rate like that. That's about the heart rate that I left for the hospital with. And so he gave me two options. One is an infusion, and one is to shock my heart. And the shocking, it sounds a little scary, but he said the infusion would take 1 or 2 days. And the problem is I can't afford to take that time off work. It's not just the money, it's that my boss has gone on vacation, and he hires just enough staff to hold things down when everything goes right, not leaving really room for what happens when something doesn't go right, so cutting every corner that he can. So it's kind of crazy to make a health decision based on somebody else's selfish decisions, really, on how to run a business that I'm hired in. But I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to choose the shocking. The doctor says it's actually the shocking itself is actually not even the risky part. It's the medication is the more risky part, because there's a risk that I'll stop breathing, but there'll be people standing around specifically monitoring my breathing. All right, well, I was sedated and shocked, and I survived the experience. I came back and was lucid enough to answer basic questions about my identity and whereabouts, and the nurse said that he'd asked me the same series of questions. I'd only answered 2 of them, my name and the place I was in, and I don't remember him asking me those. I don't remember getting shocked either. He said, that's a good thing. Okay, so here I am. my heart rate has gone back. Oh, it's hard to see what it is right now, but last I checked, it was under 100 until I started, talking to the doctor about, whether what could trigger these AFib episodes, and he, I asked it as an open-ended question to see how highly he ranked stress, and that was the first thing he mentioned, and then as soon as I started telling him, he pointed to the heart monitor, and my heart rate had gone up to almost 110, from like 90, just over 90 to almost 110. Okay, so I'm back from the hospital, back to work actually, and so I wanted to talk about a few things. One is, all right, obviously it's important for me to follow up with a cardiologist that I was referred to, and also to avoid sources of stress as much as possible. And I have been avoiding the source of stress that's, I believe, has triggered this incident as much as possible, almost as much as possible. There's maybe one other thing I could do that's got some major trade-offs, but anyway, it's a lot less of a daily constant source of stress for me now. And of course, work to, better process the kind of sources of stress that are inevitable. And both of those things, fortunately, I have a therapist to work with on both of those things. And there's no shame in that whatsoever. Seeing a therapist doesn't mean you're crazy. And another thing I want to say is that, I haven't really opened up and interacted a whole lot with my community here on YouTube. And part of that is because, I actually have Asperger's, which is a mild form of autism, and social interactions don't always go well for me. If you've ever found any of my reactions or comments off-putting, it's likely due to symptoms of Asperger's, such as being extremely passionate, not only about one particular subject at a time, but about the details of it. Professorial speech, basically sounding like I'm reading from the dictionary when I explain things. Trouble interpreting social cues, realizing when somebody's had enough, and it's they're like, okay, yeah, I've heard enough of this that for my taste, at least for now, or things like that. So it's kind of hard for me to open up to that about that publicly, because there have been people that I've opened up to it privately about it who've used it against me. So anyway, lastly, I want to give a very important message for the holidays, which is that, first of all, ideally, I hope you have very happy holidays. Okay, but I know that that's not, going to be the reality for everybody. And, for a variety of reasons, typically the holidays, especially Thanksgiving and Christmas, they can be especially hard for people, especially because in our society, at least in the United States and probably in a lot of countries, that celebrate other holidays, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. I don't know much about Kwanzaa at all, really, but I think generally this time of year is seen as a time that you should be spending with your family. Not everybody has a good relationship with their family, and or is able to spend time with them. Some, their family members might have passed away, or they, whether it's, you struggle with depression or some other mental health issue, or whether, you don't get along with your family because of your gender identity, your sexual orientation, your religious views or lack thereof, or whatever the case may be. I just want you to know that my channel is a safe space, and even if you've made some actually bad decisions, and there are a lot of lifestyle choices I think our society unfairly judges, but even if you've made some really bad choices, as long as you're really trying to work on yourself and improve yourself, then try me. And so anyway, that's what I want to say. So I really hope you have a wonderful holiday. And I miss really celebrating or doing anything special about Thanksgiving, but I am very thankful to have some really good friends, to be in touch with my family, even though it's been a long time since I've been able to, celebrate Christmas, for example, with them physically. Anyway, I really just wanted to wish you a happy holiday. But if you don't manage to have a happy holiday, just know my channel is a safe space for you. And have fun playing Diablo, Immortal, or doing whatever you want to do, and hang in there if it's tough for you. And take care, everyone. See you next time. Bye.